Hi, Mike. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hi. If people are watching locally, they might recognize you from the partner in the Don't Wait Project, Don't Wait and Make a Bully program that we've been doing for how many years across the country?
Mid-teens, I think, by now.
Yeah, I think this is coming into 13, maybe. Um, and you and I were talking the other day because you're here only 3 weeks out of the year in the fall, but we work together throughout the year. And so you and I were talking the other day about the program that we're working on that's more of a virtual approach or a digital product approach that we're be launching soon. And we were talking about safety in general and what kind of products would we offer people based on the challenges that you've seen in the classroom for over a decade now. And I'm guessing it's changed over the years, obviously, as
Every
the
year.
landscape has changed. Yeah. So let's first of all just talk about that because I want parents to have an opportunity to get that education. And they come to our premieres maybe, or they see the videos that the students have filmed with you over the years about internet safety, character development, anti-bullying, education, all of that. But let's speak to the parents directly and the people who are making decisions about how to keep their kids safe on the internet. Maybe they're deciding to allow their children to engage in social media, that sort of thing. So let's get started from that point of view and see where it takes us and how we can be of help.
Yeah.
Um, First of all, thank you. Everybody knows you as Mr. Mike, and there is only one of you. And so you work really hard in the classrooms throughout the country doing this program that we've been doing for so many years, as we said. And you really bond with the students and they stay in touch with you. There's not probably 2 weeks, maybe a month that go by that I don't hear from a former student from maybe even 10 years ago asking where their video is and can they reach out to you and reconnect. So let's just talk about that for a moment. Just the part about being in the classroom and what that has meant to you over the years and how you've been able to see the changes that are happening to keep kids safe on the internet.
Right. Well, I mean, we started off as straight bullying, as just talking about bullying and what the concepts of bullying are and how it comes at us in real life, in on the bus, in the coat room, at lunch. But as we were doing that early program, there was still that little bit of people who were experiencing it through cyberbullying, whether it was on their video games, their apps, things like that, like getting, hearing it in their ears when they're on Xbox Live or getting it in a group chat. And as the years went on, that kind of became more forefront. Kids were talking less about the bullying on the bus and the bullying in the coat room, and more about a lot of them about what they're hearing in their ears when they're playing video games. Or I got a new phone and I went on it and a friend invited me to a group chat and someone was being mean to me. I don't know who it was. So like a lot of those stories kept cropping up, and especially since COVID, which was 2 years of online only, it's really exploded. And we shifted a bit during that time to talk more about the media sphere, we call it. And kids really took to it. They saw things in our presentations that they recognize, that oh yeah, I've seen that before. I know that's fake, or I know when someone says that, and it was already part of their dialogue. Some schools do digital citizenship classes in their library media centers, and I hear a lot from the librarians, the media specialists there. Oh, I'm glad you're going over this. We kind of touched on it, but I'm glad that it's someone else going over it from outside the building, because then the kids will hear it twice. And
Yeah, or
so,
just hearing it from you, I think means a lot to them,
sure.
because they anticipate some of the students are waiting for you to come because they don't get to work with you till fourth grade or above, and so maybe
And yeah, they'll see
they're
us in the hallways when they're in
yeah, they see what's happening or their siblings participated or any number of things, and so I think that one of the things that I've noticed just as a spectator of what you do, because you're the one who's down in the trenches with the students. um, I feel like the decision for when a child gets a phone and when a child joins social media has gotten younger and younger and younger. I'm guessing peer pressure, I'm guessing communication with parents, whatever the reasons are, we're not here to
peer, peer,
judge.
peer pressure between parents too. Sometimes your kid's not on a phone yet.
Yeah.
Like,
Or you let your kid have a phone,
right. Yeah, yeah,
goes
yeah.
both ways. And so we're not here to judge that decision. We're here to help inform the parents based on the vast knowledge that you've collected over the years. So One of the things that we talk about is internet safety. We're just going to go to break for a minute, but we're going to showcase the three districts that we've worked with over these years: Kashmir, Entiat, and Wenatchee. And this one particular video, I remember from Wenatchee. How old is it, you think?
It's one of our first, so it's
Mhm.
over 10 years. It's over 10 years old. The student in it, you'll see shortly. He's running down the street. He was then in our program in middle school, and ran up to me out of the blue. Just I didn't even know who he was for a second. He ran up to me. Oh my gosh! And he was talking about the program, and I've seen him since then a couple times, and he's always very thoughtful about it. And the teacher we worked with on that too has been our partner for a while as well. So
Yeah.
it really
Wow.
created a splash. And
Yes.
great.
Well, this is a fun one. And basically it's the education that you worked with the students on the script and the education pieces of internet safety, and just making sure you're not using passwords that are easy to figure out, all of these kinds of things. So we're going to go to break and show this one. When we come back, we'll talk in more detail about the different things that parents can pay attention to keep their kids safe. Let's watch this and go to break.
My name is Diego Hernandez. My address is 123 Bluebird Lane. My phone number is 509-555-1234. I'm 11 years old and my birthday is October 18th.
This is my username, and this is my password. Log in to see my private conversations. They're top secret.
These are the keys to my house. This is the code to my garage, and this is my address. And I'm home alone every day until 5:30. Thanks.
Would you tell just anyone you're home alone?
No, I wouldn't do that. I don't share my password with anyone but my parents.
I don't tell anyone online where I live or go to school. I get hacked because I use my name and my birth date as my password, and somebody figured it out.
How can you say that about me?
I didn't.
That was supposed to be a secret.
That wasn't me. Why did you post that on my wall? Come on, someone hacked me.
Use a password that is easy to remember but hard to guess. If you use a pet's name, add some random numbers at the end that aren't related to your birthday, phone number, or address.
And don't give it away.
Be careful of when you post pictures of your house or places you play. Strangers can find out where you are and what you own.
And don't give out that information.
When you're making a profile online, never use personal information like your address, phone number, or your full name.
You can still have fun without giving away any of your personal information. Stay safe, stay private, and hey, maybe log offline once in a while.
We're back talking with you, Mike Feurstein. You are the partner in the Don't Wait Project's Don't Wait to Unmake a Bully program that, as we said in the first segment, has gone on to become media sphere safety, internet safety, character development, helping students understand the importance of safety, and the transition from classroom and bus and gym bullying to cyberbullying. And that increase that's happened over the years, especially since COVID, since so much of life was virtual at the time. We just showed a fun video of the kids produced very early on in our program about being safe and keeping your passwords smart and protected and things like that. So one of the things that is an ongoing conversation is, when is the right time for a student to have a child? Parents have this conversation. When is the right time for their child to have a phone? And when is the right time for their child to join social media? What is interesting is, I remember a couple years back us doing a story where the high schoolers and the younger students were doing an age, what is that called? Like the younger student was playing that role, and then they were playing years ahead, like a time lapse kind of thing.
Yeah.
And all of those older students said to the kids, and just in between shooting and everything, don't join social media. I wish I hadn't. Don't do it. Don't do it yet. You're too young. Don't do it ever, because then you're addicted. And it was very interesting because here they were giving that advice, but yet they spend time doing the same thing. So that's
Oh,
something for
yeah.
parents to consider.
Even parents, most of us are aware of the time that social media is taking up in our lives. We'll stand there doom scrolling, we'll our food will burn or our showers will be cold while we're waiting for this, and we do it. It's how the algorithm's built. It's addicting. It doesn't just affect kids; it affects adults too. So adults see that as, well, if I'm doing it, my kid may as well do it, I guess. Or it's a busy thing to keep your kids from bothering you at a certain time, which, every parent needs that alone time. But
Yeah, it's a tough decision, and it's got to be based individually. So like I said in the first segment, we're not here to judge when you do it. We're trying to inform you about it. So for in that decision making, what are some of the things that you and the teachers have discussed and come up with over the years about making that decision? You have to make that decision for your child, and it might be based on some peer pressure. It might be based on scheduling and making sure that you know where your kid is because you work later sometime, these kinds of, when do you pick them up from the bus after a sporting or musical event, whatever it is. So what have you and teachers come up with as best practice or best intentions, I should say?
a few things, and some of them, it depends on the family. It depends on where you are. If you're always on the go, then you can't do some of these things. But a lot of it, some of it is, you wouldn't expose your kids to something that you yourself haven't experienced or tried out or expose yourself to. So download the apps that your kids want, get to know them, see what Snapchat, what Instagram is all about, explore it, even look it up online. And there's a lot of parental sites that show you what the pros and cons are. Pros of any social media is connection. They can keep in touch with their friends if they're on vacation, and they'll feel less alone or stranded. Friends that move away, relatives that aren't in the area, there's good stuff there, and learning from other cultures when they're talking to or watching videos from other cultures. But then, you get into that oversharing aspect. So does the app prevent that? Is there parental controls? I know we're not going to give advice here on that regard, but I would avoid banning technology altogether, because if you don't get to know the app and your kids don't get to know the app, and then they encounter that app somewhere out in the wild, they might make a mistake that's irrevocable. They might give out information or take a photo or something and share it, and then it's gone, it's out there, and they didn't realize that. So the parents knowing enough about it lets the kids know about it, and also avoid those situations where having no information led to serious problem.
Yeah.
And I've encountered parents and teachers who tell me stories about how that has happened.
So it is about, even if you're not making the decision to allow your student to join yet, it is about educating them before they even join so that they can start to learn from it, from you and your interaction with it, as opposed to from the mistake. Making mistakes on the internet is a little tougher than making mistakes just about anywhere else.
Yeah. And there's plenty of stories out there that you can share with your kids of kids who have overshared and sent things, and here's what happened. Some of them ended up with a criminal record, because of the things they did on their phone the first time they got it, or after months of not being checked and finally going a little too far with their dare or with their language, something. There's been news stories done internationally about kids messing up on social media. You don't want your kid to be a headline, and I don't think the kids want to be either.
Yeah. And also, I've heard this amongst my friends who have teenage kids already. I mean, my son's grown, but I've heard parents talk about that they have parental controls, and that sometimes their kids go in and change those controls. So it is, I mean, you want to believe you can trust your kid in all situations, but it is that follow up and making sure, because they could even be sharing their phones and talking with someone, and the kids say, "Oh, you can turn that off," and them not even realize what they're turning off. It is trust. It is building that trust into the conversation, because if you can't trust your kid with you, then you can't trust your kid on the internet. And that is a trial and error situation.
That's a good point too, is if you're starting them off on their phones, make it so that they have to use them in a public space in your house. Like, no phones in the bedroom, no phones in the bathroom. You can use them in the living room on the couch. You could use them in the chair in the other room, in a place that you can walk through all the time and check out. Or if they're using their bedroom, door open, just so that if you see them you can, okay, enough of the phone, let's go outside.
Yeah.
There's got to be some kind, it's not like a Lego. It's not like, it's not something you can leave them playing with and go off. The phones touch the world.
Yeah.
So
I think volume up is a good idea too. No headphones.
Yep.
And that can go on as long as you feel it needs to. Maybe it goes on for the entirety because, you know, the more familiar they get with how to use their phone, the more in trouble they can get in seeing places and things that maybe they shouldn't. That absolutely they shouldn't. That it has nothing to do with a safe app and the safeties of an app. There's so much out on the internet that they should not see, that adults shouldn't see, all of those things. Let's take a break, and as we go into break, we're going to show the Mr. Internet video. And is that with which student? Is that ENIAT?
Yeah, that was an ENIAT. Yeah. Had a great time exemplifying what the internet would look like if it was a human being in your life.
It's a fun one. Okay, we'll watch this, go to break, we'll be back.
Pictures posted. Pictures posted. Pictures posted.
What are people commenting?
Check it out.
Hashtag you. What is that? Girl, find a face. Hashtag sorry, not sorry.
Oh.
It could ruin your day, your confidence, and your self-esteem.
Take it from me. I'm the internet. Or don't believe me, because, well, I'm the internet.
Report offensive comments.
No.
Add your own positives.
What about...
Stop. No.
And block annoying, unwanted users.
Stop. Go!
Mike, we have just a couple minutes. We want to leave parents with 3 tips. I wrote them down. Ground rules, setting the ground rules now, having that serious conversation now so that they don't have to fight about it later. And whatever the ground rules are, we got to stick to them, right?
Stick to them. Don't bend them for your own convenience. You know, you got to keep it there. And what you said about, you know, having a conversation now. Yeah. A lot of parents have said it's hard. It's hard to restrict my kids. I don't want them to be upset at me. You make decisions all the time that upset your kids, first of all. Second, do you want to be having that hard conversation before it happens or after they do that thing that is irrevocable? They've hurt somebody or they've hurt themselves or embarrassed themselves or your family. Have it before. It's easier.
Because it can be destructive, even if it's in their own friend group, it can cause real conflict and deal. Okay, we got to start over.
Shit.
What's happening? We'll be ready. We'll still be ready. What'd you say, 1:30?
Huh? Well, 1 o'clock was my out time.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
That's okay.
And you put your arm on the thing, so you got to make sure you.
Were
you supposed to be somewhere at 1?
Yeah, still trying.
Sorry about that. We can literally be done in 3 minutes and 22 seconds.
They're just down the road.
Okay. Here we go. Mike, we want to leave parents with 3 tips. I wrote them down. Very first one is set the ground rules now. Have the serious conversation now so that you're not fighting about it later. Stick to it. If you're going to stick to anything in parenting, this is a very important thing because it exposes them to the entire world.
Yeah. And all the stuff we talked about before should come into that conversation. You know, a lot of parents have said it's hard to have a conversation with my kids about phones because I don't want to take them away. I don't want them to be mad at me or whatnot. But it's going to be a lot harder conversation to have when they've made that mistake that you could have prevented by having a conversation beforehand. It's going to be.
I agree. Yeah. Just have the conversation. Stick to it. It's hard to do, but stick to it. And then stranger danger. Everyone on the internet is a stranger. You would not drop your child off at a house with a stranger there or a room full of strangers with only one person you trust. There's rooms out there. There's places out there in the internet that are not safe for kids. So they need to learn that everyone is a stranger.
Yeah. And stick to hanging out with their friends. It's just as fun hanging out with your friends as it is some weirdo you don't know, right?
Yeah.
And it's safer, it's kinder, and you're going to run into less problems.
Yeah. So keep them safe and teach them how to do that. And then the last one is to lead by example. So we hear this a lot. I hear it a lot. I see it. We see it. We see it in restaurants. We see it. I always feel like if you see kids in a device, parents in a device, and they're not talking to each other, then you can imagine what it's like at home if they're willing to do that in public. So again, No judgment, but if your child is spending too much time on their phone, you own that phone and you have the ability to restrict that phone. You and I have had this conversation. I'm a little bit of a hard blank about it, but it's true.
Well, and you said before too, there's no judgment. There is no judgment. It's whatever you're comfortable with. But if you're comfortable with your kids using a phone in the restaurant one day, and then the next day you're not, it's an inconsistent ground rule that you've just established. So you got to be consistent with that and with your own usage. If they see you on it all the time, or they see what you're posting and it's not always great, if they follow in your example, don't be surprised.
Yeah. And so the real thing part about that is, if we think about setting the ground rules, and obviously adults have different rules than kids do. So their ground rules might be different than your ground rules. And that's your own private decision for your own life and expectation of the internet. And then strangers, very, very important to keep them safe from all things internet that have not, that take them away from the safe people in your family, in your life. It's supposed to be, as you said earlier, about connection, about being in touch with relatives who live outside of town, or being in touch with your friends when they're not around. And then having some things set in place, like keeping the volume up when they're watching videos. Don't have them with headphones so you can't hear what they're listening to, that kind of thing. And then that example. So if you're on your phone a lot, chances are your kids will be too. It's a hard thing to do, but there are different timers and stuff you can set to see just how much you're using it. And it might be a check for your own self.
There's timers, there's signups, there's locks you can put on certain apps. Yeah. But I do that to myself.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Self-regulation. All right. Well, we're going to go one more into this other fun video showing the kids showcasing their work in Kashmir. Thanks for being here, Mike. We'll see you in the fall.
All right. Yeah. Thanks.
Oh my gosh. Did you hear what happened?
No.
Gotta hear this.
What? No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.